Hello everyone, this is Charlotte and this is a podcast called Chatting and Doing Stuff. It's where I drive around at this point, at least for another week, 2 weeks maybe, and discuss topics, just random topics I've pulled out of my arse basically. I'm not, things that occur during the week that you go, why does that exist? Why is that happening? Because I'm a curious little cat. There's a disclaimer at the start of this podcast because I do talk about sensitive topics. Oh, that's itchy. And I swear a lot. And I swear a lot unapologetically because it's for adults anyway. Why are you trying to box me in, man? Topic for today is male loneliness pandemic. Epidemic, maybe. We have yet to test that. And I'm not trying to take this from a I hate men perspective because there's a lot of stigma attached to the epidemic. I'm concerned. Let's just say that. I'm concerned because I don't want guys to feel like shit. And I'm trying to understand the angles at which this is occurring so that we can fix it. And no one should feel like shit. No one should feel lonely. No one should feel like they're isolated. And to understand the problem and to create a result or a way of healing the situation, you of course need to look at the context in which you find yourself. What has led to this existing? I will apologize now because I'll probably be swearing while I'm driving. Going through an industrial area. They're not bright. But let's understand the context in which the current male predominantly finds himself. It's a pressure cooker. Women are also in a pressure cooker, just in a slightly different way, because we're essentially less better off than men. And it sounds horrible. I don't know if you've seen that explanation of feminism, stuff like that. Like, feminism these days has become a horrible word for some guys. And I'm sitting going, it's just based on basic respect, right? There's nothing like we're going to oppress you and harvest your semen. It's not anything like that. We just want to be looked after and we will look after you, and it's about equality. We're looking after each other essentially. But the guys get so offended, it's like, oh, women are better than men. It's like, no, that's neo-feminism. And believe me, there is a very small percentage of women are that way anyway. And anything in neo-feminism is basically based on evidence. If you want to go that far as experience, it's a lot of people. I mean, it's the equivalent of a female incel, neo-feminism. It's a case of men have been shown to be so shit, on the whole, that women have just adopted this, women are better, we want nothing to do with the men, that kind of shit. That is neo-feminism. Doesn't exist on a large scale. It doesn't. Same as incel culture with men doesn't exist, particularly on a large scale, because it would be non-conducive to actually getting laid. Most guys will go, well, that's not all guys. And I'm like, well, we know that. And I feel like a lot of the incels at this point I just don't think you've found your match. And they're worried that they're not going to. And so they get a little bit bitter and they fixate. And there's this pressure that men need to get laid and sow their oats and shit like that. And first of all, that'll take you out of the market, because no woman worth a grain of salt is going to want a man whore. It's like, no, it's a liability. I'm not touching that one. It's like, long term, no. I might use you. I wouldn't, because I find it gross to touch someone without actually having an emotional connection. But, it's the manosphere is what the current key word is. Looking at the manosphere and all the different facets of what masculinity is. There is predominantly toxic masculinity, which has come from, I think, historically, the culture. If we take it back it's been going on for eons, as long as men have existed in some format or another, but this current format is the post-Second World War, I think, and I could be wrong, where masculinity is to cut off your emotions, promote stoicism, which isn't stoicism as we know it, to be honest, and to keep plugging along, and to show feeling is to be vulnerable, is to be weak. And that's fine if you're going into war and you have to kill someone without giving a fuck about if they live or die or have a family or are emotionally connected to anything. That's fine, if that's your job. But to try and make a connection with other people, not just women, but men as well, you need to be vulnerable. It doesn't work to be emotionally cut off and to be having these shallow surface connections with people and expect them to be around when you need backup. Even in the army, they have a crew system where, and it's horrible because it's manipulation, where they will get the crew to turn against a leader in some kind of subtle way in order to band them together to create more cohesion within the group. So you know you've got someone on your back. As long as that crew can find a common enemy to work towards, they'll pull the cohesion together in the group, and they'll work harder together. Or at least that's the theory, which is why you'll find a lot of drill sergeants, for example, are complete pricks. And they like to torture you, because at least then you've got a common enemy and you've got to band together with your brothers and get on with the job. Whether these drill sergeants are actual pricks, we don't know. But it is their job to create that conflict situation within the group, even though you have to answer to this person, in order to formulate a team, essentially. Because people tend to band together when they've got a common enemy or a common goal, or, you know, a flag to fly, you know? So that's why I think guys also band together as well. Girls will band together as well, I guess, because you've got that common sex / if you want to go into gender flag, that they just kind of, I don't, because I don't like people, but you know, some people will get together because, oh, we're all with the lads, or just the girls are going out on a night, and they'll say that's the reason we're sticking together, which is causing a lot of conflict between the genders and sexes, because it's essentially, I mean, there's a whole huge discussion about how consumerism, capitalism is actually feeding the fight between the genders or the sexes to create conflict, so that, you know, those in the higher up financial echelons will benefit from the conflict, and it's creating drama and confusion and chaos, and people who have profited from it are generally, you know, billionaires, millionaires. There is that whole discussion. I won't go into it today because it's pretty elaborate. But we tend to band together with those we have commonalities with, is what I'm saying. So you'll find guys stick together. They don't understand women, maybe, and they feel more comfortable with guys their own age, or guys their own group, or guys their own sex. Same with girls. Girls will stick together because, you know, we've all gone through similar experiences. But honestly, at some point we're going to have to cross over and be able to make contact, shall we say, with the opposite sex. And it needs to lead to something that's conducive to something. If you want to have kids, at some point you're going to need to get in contact with a female. If you're a guy, you're going to be able to hold that relationship long enough to ensure that your offspring grows to maturity. I mean, in biological terms, if you want to go that way. I mean, I look at breeding basically in biological terms. I mean, there is a romanticized version of it, of the happy home and stuff like that, but I'm not a person who actually wants kids, so I don't go into the whole romanticizing what I've seen already as essentially female labor, because from my experiences, men have just been a token in child rearing. It's not a good thing, because you should be hands-on. My brother is the exception at this point, because he is a hands-on dad. He's really good, actually. He's better than my dad ever was. And that's, you know, a feather in his cap, because he's not many men I can see are that great. So, you know, what should be basic standards for child rearing are now considered the exception, which I find odd, because you made that baby. Now fucking raise it. It's odd. You can't expect one person to pull the full weight of the cart when there's, you know, you're meant to be pulling together. I mean, with the example of my dad, he was sitting there riding on top of the cart while my mum was pulling. And the kids were pulling too, because fuck this. My mum wasn't going to do this alone. I will make you do this. We were servants. It was weird. But looking at the culture of masculinity today, what it should be and what women actually want is a much more relaxed version, because the bar is so low. I mean, we are willing to take bare minimum some days. I mean, it would be great to get the good top tier shit, but just things like basic monogamy and respect and consideration, all these things are free. You don't have to pay for them. It doesn't take a lot of energy to do it. But guys have got so caught up in things like the red pill movement, where they think they're better than everyone else, when realistically we're all working together towards the same goal. We're just doing it in different ways. We should be running along the same track parallel. But for some reason, guys think they should be in front. It's like the hare and the tortoise. I mean, that's a prime example, because guy might get there first, but a woman will get there, well, a guy will get distracted by his dick, to be honest, and a woman will get there first because we ain't got a dick to get distracted with, if you think about it. It's like, are you chasing tail? Not really. Got stuff to do. I tell you what, if a woman doesn't have sex long enough, I don't know about the other girls, but it goes into hibernation. Your sex drive goes into hibernation. I haven't thought about sexy thoughts in a while, and I haven't had sex in like 4 years. I just don't think about it. You know, if there's no viable mates, you just go, yeah, I'll find something else to do. I don't know what pretense guys are on, or how much pressure they are societally to take on this persona that you have to fuck everything that moves. It's worrying. It's like, how much pressure is on you guys, and why are you participating? You don't need to participate. To be honest, the less you try and participate, maybe it might make you more valuable to women because you're less of a threat. There's an idea. But they've got this toxic mentality that their entire worth is, well, not entire worth, it's either about money or sex or, you know, the bros and what they think of you. It's like you're missing a whole facet of life in adult terms because you refuse to accept women as equals, as counterparts, because they're just objects. It's weird. Objects to exploit or to use, or, you know, there's a whole discussion there as well. Like a prime example, it was a few months ago actually, I was trying to move a freezer down the stairs. I think it was a freezer or something bulky like that. And the guy underneath my stairs, because I'm in a 2-tier, is seeing me struggle with this thing. And it wasn't until my brother intervened and tried to help me that he tried to intervene and help him, my brother, not me. And I'm sitting there going, I'm a 5-foot woman, no real muscle mass. It's like, why do you wait until my brother is helping to actually offer help? So what is going on there that you won't help? And that's a contributing factor, that mindfulness, that only will I help if I can get something out of it sort of thing. I mean, I'm wondering, are you trying to bang my brother? It's like, am I not fuckable? It's like, there is that mindset, it's like, I will only help a girl if I can get something out of it, which is also circulating. I'm going, well, that's not a good thing. You should be helping people because they need help. If it was a kid having trouble with something, would you help, or would you assume that you're going to get something out of it? Ew. It's like, why do you only give a fuck when it's transactional? That's another thing that's contributing to the male epidemic. It's like, no one will help you, so you're not got any people hanging around. So maybe you've expected people to give unconditionally and they just won't because you didn't give unconditionally. I'm going to scooch over because I want to avoid this van. They've created a world where they assume they're the best, and this is not all men, I know, and they say you can't say that's not all men. It's like, well, relatively it's not. Some guys, let's just say some guys, have created a world where they and their peers may be deemed superior and therefore deserve, I say, the bulk of the food or some shit like that. The bulk of the benefits of the situation, expecting other people who are smaller and weaker to service them. When they don't receive that servicing, they lash out with incel culture or red pill culture, or, you know, and then even then when the women don't want to service them, or their friends don't want to service them, so let's say, because it's not just women contributing to this, it's their friends that are not genuine friends, because they've lived in that shallow surface relationship situation because they don't want to be vulnerable and get in depth and build intimacy even with their friends. So you'll find that the friends are backstabbing them and competing for mates and wealth and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just a cloud of getting fucked over. It's a self-annihilating system. And they're finding at 40, when their friends have fucked off and had kids and got their own life and stuff like that, 40 or 50, that they have no one to rely on because they didn't buy into the whole I'm gonna have kids and settle down shit, or they didn't develop the skills to compensate for women's needs, essentially recognize them as human beings that want to connect with these guys. They don't want to because feelings are icky. And the thing that comes to mind is the Little Rascals with the He-Man women haters. So we're He-Man woman haters. And there's a scene in the Little Rascals, it's a very old movie, where the The one with the ears and the pointy thing is talking about how he loves Darla. And she's like, but why won't you tell your friends about me? Because I love you, but I don't want anyone else to know about it. I'm sitting there going, you're afraid of being vulnerable. You're afraid of showing people that you are in this position and you own this position. Because, you know, it might come across as weak. It's like, no, there's no weakness in loving someone. It takes intensity, commitment, strength, fuckload of strength. Because you've got to show the world, basically, that you've chosen this person, and fuck you if you don't like it. You know, it's like, that takes balls to actually own that. You want strength, that's how you show it. I mean, this could be a complete fuck up of a person, but you're still going to own that, and you shouldn't take on a fuck up. Don't take on a fuck up, because that is a liability. Find someone who's willing to work with you, if you can. But also, the contributing factor, or a contributing factor, is the hookup culture. Women are becoming alienated from the male species, should we say, because of the hookup culture, where men are going, oh, we're going to get sex and stuff, it's great, we should encourage this. But the women that are giving you sex are not quality. They're not going to stick around. They're going to use you as much as you use them, and then they're going to fuck off. And the worst outcome of that for the women is that we get stuck holding a baby, and some of us are cluing on and we're going, we're not doing this. Because so you'll find a decline in women willing to give it up, but an increase in guys going, the guys are getting laid, we should do it too. So you're finding this imbalance, and a lot of these men are going to be very fucking lonely when their dick stops working and they've got nothing to offer, because they spent all their money trying to impress these girls who have just gone like, we're not doing this anymore. And that was the case with my granddad Bob, essentially, because he went through quite a few women and grandmas, essentially. He kept doing stuff like that right up until he died. He always had a girlfriend on call who was someone's nanny, someone's grandma. He was a ladies' man. It's like, that's not something to glorify, because he died alone. He died alone on his own. No one wanted anything to do with him, because he was just a nasty, selfish prick. And he probably was lonely, to be honest, but he was lonely because he didn't bother making connection unless he could get something out of it: sex, money, appearance of achieving something. He didn't make himself vulnerable. Every time he tried to connect with us as grandkids, it was just a case of, I'm going to show my new tart what I can do. These are my kids. It was not that we had an emotional connection to him. It was a case of, I made these, or I contributed to making these. So this is building up my perception that I achieved something. It's like, I did this, so you didn't do this. And even if you did make kids, you're not investing in them, so they don't want anything to do with you. So it's a hollow victory, essentially. You've got them, but they hate you. It's like, don't show that off. That's not a good connection. So he obviously must have been lonely at some stage, because everybody abandoned him because he was just generally horrible. He didn't bother making emotional connection with anyone. I know he treated his son like shit, because his son then treated us like shit. It was a fucked up situation, and that stemmed either from, you could say the patriarchy, where men come first, apparently, making emotional connection, and that could have been created by a system of fear and violence. Guys will not stick up against other guys because they're afraid of reprisal. You see a woman getting attacked in the streets, the guys might hold back because they're afraid that the attacker might turn on them. Never mind that they are bigger than the woman who's getting attacked. It's like, I don't want it to affect me. That's just a cowardly mindset. If someone needs help, we've got this whole culture of superheroes that step in and help, and they're like uber masculine, and we look up to them, and they're heroes, man. You get involved and help someone. They're smaller, they're weaker, you need to help. And we glorify these people, but when it comes to real life and men being men and needing to step in and do their job, because they are designed to be bigger and stronger than females, I'll say. You're designed for it. This is your purpose, to protect. What they do is they chicken shit out, because I don't want to get attacked. I don't want to look bad in front of my friends. What if I start the fight or start defending someone and I lose and then I look bad? It's like, so what? At least you fucking tried and you helped someone. That's the problem. It's like, they don't want to help. They don't want to be seen as the weak one. If they step back or stay back, first of all, they don't get hurt. So they're afraid of getting physically hurt, even though there's a greater chance of them survival compared to the woman. Their bros know or don't know if they could lose the fight. That's the thing. So their honor is intact. It's like, well, I didn't show that I could potentially lose, so you'll never know, so we're still friends, then I'm not a weak bitch. the fact that you would have tried to help would have so many brownie points for the woman. Like, do you want a guy or do you want a girl? Just try, man. I mean, even if you're fighting dirty, I don't give a fuck. You fight dirty defending a woman, you're still going to get the brownie points. Not everything is Queensbury. But the fact that they're afraid, and another thing I find is very strange is men are afraid to talk to women. They will sit there and they will have a crush on a girl for goddamn years, be afraid of what she's going to say back, cannot handle rejection, might conflict with the image they got in their head of what they are. So it's like they got no resilience either. They're afraid of what their friends will say. They got no resilience when it comes to even talking to a woman who really, our weapons are only our words. You guys have fists and shit. You know that, right? You're afraid of getting hurt. We're afraid of getting murdered. So the odds are in your favor a bit. So why are you being such a chicken shit talking to us? I mean, there is, of course, going to be the way you talk to us. For example, when I did that What You Doing text podcast, it's like a guy hitting me up at 10 o'clock at night asking me to come out. You're going to get punched. That is the dumbest way to, like, you don't even think about what you're doing. But at worst, you're just going to get a verbal retort. It's not like someone's going to come to your house and burn it down. It's not like I'm going to stalk you and then, you know, you're just going to get a, well, you're an asshole. And then I'm not talking to this guy again. Rejection. These minor rejections compared to the massive rejection that women will face if they don't give you what you want is what's going to contribute to the male pandemic, because we're not even going to have any male pandemic. Is it male pandemic? There are too many men. There are too many non-functioning men. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to contribute to the pandemic that men are not behaving appropriately. And we're not going to want to participate. It's like passive protest. Is if we can't find something that's good or worth fighting for, because we will fight for men. You've seen girls go at each other for a guy. Some guys use it as an ego prop. They'll encourage women to fight over them. It's fucking pathetic. But when we find something that's good and solid, we'll fucking stand up for it. We want it. This is mine. I take this. This is my man. Don't fucking come near. And it will be a case of a woman will fight for you when she sees you have potential that you're not living up to, and you'll take it as nagging. Some guys get that way. It's like, I can, bear in mind, she thinks so highly of you that she's willing to say something. She's willing to even conflict. Now, this is, usually guys are bigger than us, right? So if we're willing to stand on our shit and say, this is not good enough, you're not doing good enough, with you being a direct physical threat to us, take it as a fucking compliment. We want you to succeed. We want you to live and do well. The fact that we're bringing up it at all shows that we give a fuck. When we don't give a fuck and we go silent, or we leave silently, you're fucked. You've lost your chance there. You lost your window. So if a woman is standing up to you and she's saying, you're not doing the right thing, you're not doing the right thing by me, it is not attack in the sense that you're not good enough. It's an attack in a sense that, and it is an attack because it's confrontation. The guys can't handle confrontation even from people smaller and weaker than them. It's weird. Can you imagine all these bully movies we've watched where the bully is just shitting himself because the nerd turns around and goes, nee. It's like, what the fuck is your problem? But it's attack of the ego, and men value the ego more than growth, which I find interesting because you need a certain level of humility to grow. You need to admit that maybe it's not working what you're in right now, and if we try something else, it'll move towards a better way of doing things. They lack humility. That's the problem. And it takes humility to be able to answerable to a woman. And rather than take that on, you get a lot of guys that will go, I don't value a woman's opinion, or I don't value what she's saying, I'm just going to leave. And then you'll find that essentially over time the women run out because we're sick of your shit. And you won't have anyone. And your friends don't give a shit whether you live or die, to be honest, as long as you're entertaining for them. It's like, he's a bro, he's going out drinking with me, he's going to come do some weed with me, we're going to go get some chicks in a toxic way and get them drunk and fuck them because that's what we do, we're bros. And you sit there and think, first of all, you're undermining your chances of finding anyone long term in the female population, and these fuckers are only going to be around while you're doing that shit. And I'll tell you what, even you're going to get fucking sick of that shit because it's wearing and it ages you and you feel like shit, and there's only so many years you can take hangovers before you really start fucking hating that life. You hate that life. And you'll live nostalgically in your 20s. There's, oh, in my 20s I was so hard, and I could stay up all night, and drinking the next day and everything, and and the bros. But then that's all you're going to be left with in your 40s, 50s, 60s, when everybody else fucked off, caught on, and went off and got married and did their thing, or maybe skip country, went and started a business, something like that. It doesn't have to be the whole cliche picket fences and 9-to-5 job shit. It's just starting a project and working in a different direction. But these fuckers get stuck in this cliche lifestyle where it's the bros. It's like, and you develop more of an emotional connection with men than you do with women, for example. And at a certain age, if you're heterosexual, not if you're homosexual, but if you're heterosexual and you want kids in the family and stuff, at some point you're going to have to put away the things of a child. And this is biblical. When I became a man, I put away the things of a child and I took on the mantle of being a man, sort of thing. That's in the Bible somewhere. I'm misquoting that, obviously. But, you know, you're going to have to put away these childish things and step into the robes of being a man. And we need you as men, not as little boys that are fucking around for up dudes. And they don't want to do that because it's more fun being a little boy, going around fucking around everything. It's more fun. They have a hedonist lifestyle without the responsibility, and that will contribute to being lonely, because nobody wants to hang around a dickhead for long. You're a liability. You might laugh about what your dickhead friends are doing. It's like, oh, you got ways, laws, eyes, all this shit. But ultimately, the guys who are mocking you are not wanting to be like you. They don't want to be like, they know it goes down a shithole. So you think you're getting approval from these guys that are encouraging you to do dickhead things, but ultimately it's a two-faced thing. They're not encouraging you. They're laughing at you because they know you're fucked. These are not your friends. Those who are encouraging that kind of destructive lifestyle aren't your friends either. They're just enablers. So you'll get to a certain age and maybe you'll want to grow out that lifestyle or something like that. And you'll have no one because everybody else caught on early and fucked off. But they don't want to admit that because it's like you'd rather blame someone else than face the fact that you contributed to your own demise. It's like, I didn't self-sabotage my entire existence. You know, take drugs, treat women like shit, drink profusely, undermine my health, not grow in any kind of way, financially, emotionally, psychologically. It's definitely the other, you know, it's definitely women for a start because they're horrible and they got high standards. Like, no, they've got basic standards. For an adult, this isn't a case of, I mean, look at what women are doing. If women are doing it, we expect you to be able to do it. We're smaller and weaker. We expect you to be able to cook and clean and handle the man stuff if you want to go into gender roles. I don't, because I think everyone should be doing everything. You're an adult. Do it all. Why are you holding back? But you should be able to cook and clean and look after yourself. These are basic adulting things. Why are you relying on other people? It's like, at some point you're going to be alone, whether you're alone permanently or temporarily until you find someone who you can love. You're still going to need to know how to do this shit. Why are you holding back? I find it absurd. So it's a case of find a way to, and it adds value to you as well. I tell you what, I'd go out with a janitor if I knew he could cook and clean, man. I was like, I don't give a fuck how much you got. Show me that you're a clean human being with decent hygiene. That was my brakes. I need to get my brake pads checked. But show me you're a good person. I'd go out, I don't mind. It's like women have got this emotional connection to the idea of what men should be or could be that even men don't want to reach for. They think I need to have, you know, all this money and shit so girls will chase me, or I need to lie about who I am so girls will like me. It's like, be honest and own yourself and your actions and what you're willing to do. And then maybe you might have a greater chance of building any kind of intimacy which leads to long-term friendships or relationships. But you don't want to do that because emotions are weak. Guys are afraid to cry. It's very weird. I only saw my ex-husband cry once, and that was when I left him, and I'm sure that was crocodile tears. I'm like, it's like, you're only leaving because you think those tears are gonna, you're only crying because you think those tears are gonna make me stay. And even then, it wasn't even real crying. It was like the noise, but no water was coming out. I find that weird. Very strange. Weird. So I would encourage guys to look at things that are around you that might be contributing you to being lonely and try to break them. You've put yourself in a cage. to just say that you're this particular type of man. You don't need to be that particular type of man. Go out and join some shit. Go and make friends. Go and risk your ego and show some vulnerability. It might get hurt. I mean, look how many times women have got emotionally connected guys and they've absolutely decimated them. But they rebuild and they keep going. Women, how many girls have turned around and said, oh my God, my ex-boyfriend was a real piece of shit. He did all this stuff. He's got a shopping list of stuff that he's done. But you're still looking for that perfect man or the next man, or they're still looking, they're still trying. So there's more resilience in the female population than there is in the male population, which I find weird. Because the men are meant to be stronger and they're not. Got a lot of cowards running around. I find that weird because you're not designed to be cowards. You guys are meant to be hunters. You're meant to be strong. You're meant to be protective of the family unit, if you want to go into primal terms. And they're scared of what a girl will say. Who cares? Shoot your shot. Just do it in a tactful way that doesn't scare the shit out of them, because we're already preconditioned by toxic men to live in fear of these men. Unfortunately, that's a byproduct of the toxic masculinity in which we all have to be subject to, because some fucker cannot grow up. So when you see your bros or your friends participating in toxic male culture, like, I don't know, screaming out tight pants and shit like that, or, oh, that bar chick is hot, while you know his girlfriend's sitting right next to him, fuck him off. That's a point. I have a question. You know how we got a high level of male suicide rates? It looks statistically men are more susceptible, particularly in an age group, of committing suicide or unaliving. Grow up. If we change the word, it doesn't happen. Yes, it does. It's just a word. Is it because they are participating in this toxic male culture, which creates these conditions where they are lonely, and so they are topping themselves, but they cannot figure out that what they are doing, what has been normalized, is wrong because it's so prolific in the population? And so we're finding a lot of men have no resilience and so are topping themselves. But the women who are facing the same shit but worse are still resilient, and they glow up after the breakup and the abuse and all that shit. Are we finding, is that what's contributing? And how many men, are like, have been victims of sexual assault and stuff, but because they are so indoctrinated not to talk about it and to swallow their emotions and stuff like that, they're then just not saying it. And, then they're just keeping it inside, and so they're killing themselves that way. It's like they just won't admit that maybe they got raped or something like that. So it's, we know it's, when women talk about it, we don't get believed, but we still keep talking about it. When men talk about it, they don't get believed, or they don't talk about it at all. So is that a contributing factor to high rates of suicide? So we need to start thinking about those things. It's weird. I don't want them to be lonely. And if you think about it, we have male, I know I'm going on. We have male, Men's Health Day annually. Do we have Women's Mental Health Day annually? And if they increased the value or quality of their mental health, would that bring down the violence against women? And, people would just be nicer. I wonder about that. So that's the thing we need to think about. And I'm going to do a podcast about it maybe later. See, this is how we get ideas. Things feed on to each other. I'm going to have to leave it there because I'm probably late for class and I've got to go teach my kids. I've only got 9 work days to go. And then I'm on holidays. Take it easy. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And if you are a lonely male, please, please, please break the mold. This is your chance. You can get out there and do something. Make sure it's, a nice thing to do, ethical. Don't just try and force yourself on people because people are already defensive of their space. They're like, I already feel attacked. You got to have to ease into that. Be nice, be gentle, be a gentle man if you can. That's the best way, I find. Amazing manners. I mean, look at Henry Cavill. Amazing manners, it seems. And everybody wants to be around him. So it's a good role model. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes because he's had 10 girlfriends. But if you think about it, be a gentle man. Be kind. Be caring, considerate. I mean, obviously, do no harm, take no shit. So when somebody starts a fucking fight, you finish it. But at the same time, unless there is cause for conflict, don't, be good. Be a good guy. And I'm not talking about a nice guy that fakes it to get laid. I'm talking about a genuine, good human being. We're all existing here. We don't have a choice. Unless you want to top yourself, which is an option, but don't do it because it's pointless and it goes nowhere. Unless you want to get to the afterlife next pretty quick. Don't do that. We obviously need you here for a reason. So just find a way to break yourself out of that mindset that the world is against me. There are no other options. It's a mindset. It's the prison of the mind. It's the devil card. And you can easily break it. You just got to go and have a look. See what other people are doing. Look if you can find some resources to help you. And actually, get involved. So I want to see less lonely men. And I want you to be nice people too. Because I think it would make everything better for everyone. Because there's a ripple effect. And it affects everything. We're in a symbiotic relationship with everyone else on this planet. We have to find a way to make it easier. I'm going to leave it there. Because I could dribble for hours and I'm highly caffeinated. Take it easy and have a good Monday. I will do another podcast tomorrow, hopefully. If I can think of a topic. I'm going to have to rewatch this one because I know I had a few there. Take it easy.